If you think you need 6 days a week in the gym to get lean, you've already lost. Not because you're lazy, not because you don't work hard, but because you're following a blueprint that wasn't built for you. If you're a busy man building a business, leading people and making money, your training cannot look like a 22-year-old fitness influencer's program. It just can't. And if you try to copy that model, you'll always feel behind. Here's what usually happens. You start strong, you hit 5 sessions a week, maybe even 6, you feel locked in, then work ramps up, you're staying later, you've got dinners, you've got travel, you miss a session, then another one, and instead of blaming the system, you blame yourself. So next time you try to do more volume, more sessions, longer sessions, and you convince yourself that's discipline, but it's not. That's just inefficient. Most guys I see training about 50% of intensity. They don't even track their workouts. They use the same weights every week, same reps, same exercises, no progression. They're showing up, but they're not training with purpose. And then there's nutrition. You don't need enough protein, or if you do, you cut the carbs because you think carbs are the problem. Meanwhile, you're underfueled, you're not recovering properly, and you wonder why you feel flat in the gym. And here's the biggest one. You expect results fast. You'll grind for years in business, but when it comes to your body, if it doesn't change in 3 weeks, you think the system isn't working. That mindset is what keeps busy men stuck. So here's the reframe. You don't need more gym days, you need more time, more return per session. Here's what most busy men misunderstand. You don't need more time in the gym. You build muscle from stimulus and recovery. That's it. Stimulus tells the body to grow, and recovery is when it actually grows. If you train 6 days a week but only sleeping 6 hours, under eating protein, stress from work and barely recovering, you're not building muscle. You're just accumulating fatigue. Think about it like business. Revenue doesn't matter if the profit is 0. Just like the gym doesn't matter if your recovery is 0. If your stress is high from business, your training has to account for that. Your body doesn't care if it's a heavy squat or $1 million deal. It just sees load. So when you add 6 training days on top of that, business, travel, social events, poor sleep, you're not optimizing growth, you're draining your system. And that's why a lot of busy men feel smaller, flatter, and weaker when they try to train more. Busy men don't need more time, they need higher return per session. More days does not equal progress. More quality equals more progress. 3 high output sessions, tracked, progressive, intentional, then we recover like professionals. Because when stimulus is high and recovery is dialed in, you don't need 6 days a week, you only need 3. So what does that actually look like? If 6 days isn't the answer, what is? Here's the first thing you need to understand. Most busy men don't need more sessions, they need better sessions. Your 3-day structure is simple. Push, pull, legs, 45 minutes of lifting, 15 minutes of hard cardio at the end, and 5 exercises. No junk volume, every set tracked, every week improved. You walk into the gym knowing exactly what you lifted last week. If you did 100 kilos for 8 reps last week, then this week you beat it. More reps, more weight, there is no guessing. There is no, let's see how I feel. There is only progression. And here's the truth most guys avoid. You're not fucking training hard enough. You've stopped at 50%, you're leaving reps in the tank, you never actually find failure. 3 sessions done properly will destroy 5 average ones. I guarantee that. But training is only one part, because I've seen guys train perfectly and still look the same. That's where pillar 2 comes in. I don't care about complicated meal timing. I don't care about eating 6 times a day. I care about macros and consistency. Minimum of 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, non-negotiable, every fucking day. Not 4 days a week, not when it's convenient, every fucking day. And here's another myth. Carbs are not the enemy. If you want to build muscle, you need fuel. If you're under eating carbs, you'll underperform in the gym. And if you underperform in the gym, you will not create enough stimulus to grow. 4 meals works well, but honestly, it doesn't matter. Hit your macros and structure around your lifestyle. And when you're in maintenance, you can be intuitive. You can go on social events, and you can live your fucking life. But here's where most busy men still mess up. Even with training and food dialed in, they ignore recovery. You want to look like a high performer, you need to recover like one too. Minimum 7 hours sleep, cardio, walking on the stairs, sweat daily. And understand this, if you're constantly stressed from business and you're training hard and you're undersleeping, stress is stress. Your body won't grow. It doesn't matter where it comes from. Alcohol, it's fine. 2 to 4 drinks max, on occasions only. If you can't control it, don't touch it. You're building a lifestyle, not chasing temporary hype. So now you've got it, 3 intense sessions, macros must be hit daily, recovery is taken seriously. That's it, that's the system. Let me give you a real example. One of my clients is 50 years old, making good money every year. He's busy, he trains 5 to 6 days a week. Before he was working with me, he thought he was disciplined, but there was no structure. Same exercises, same weights, no macro understanding, and no progression. He was showing up, but he wasn't growing. We moved him to 3 structured sessions per week, push, pull, legs, every lift tracked, every week beaten, and macros tracked around his lifestyle. Protein hit daily, carbs properly structured, and recovery built in. In 12 weeks, he gained 5 kilos of muscle and dropped 10% body fat. At 50 years old, training less, but training properly. That's not motivation, that's structure. And this isn't rare. That's what happens when you stop chasing volume and you start chasing structure and you start chasing return. And I didn't always believe this either. When I first started training, I was in the gym 6 days a week. When I first started training, I was that guy. 6 days a week, obsessed, gym was everything. And I thought more was always better. I was building my career, trying to grow the business, and I trained like intensity alone could fix everything. But here's the truth. I was under eating, I wasn't recovering properly. I thought feeling wrecked meant I was doing it right. It wasn't. I remember one weekend, big night out, drinking, partying, saying yes to everything. Then 3 days later, I'm back in the gym, still training, still pushing. I felt strong, but something was off. And then on the bench, I tore my pec straight off the bone. And in that moment, everything hit me. I wasn't overtraining because of the gym. I was overloading my entire life. Stress from business, late nights, alcohol, underfueling, and then trying to overcompensate with more training. All the dog shit had to go. I had to learn to say no. No to pointless nights out, no to wasting time, no to ego training, and no to programs that weren't built for my life. That's when everything changed. When I simplified, when I structured it, when I focused on 3 high-quality sessions, when I fueled properly, when I respected recovery, my physique improved. My performance improved, my business improved, because everything finally aligned. Objection 1, won't I lose weight, lose size? Let me ask you something. Are you actually growing right now, training 5 to 6 days a week? If more days worked, you'd already be big and have what you want. Muscle doesn't care how many days you show up. If 3 sessions are intense, progressive, and fueled properly, you won't lose weight, you'll actually gain it. Objection 2, isn't 3 days too little? Too little compared to what? A 19-year-old with no job? A bodybuilder on gear? A fitness influencer whose only responsibility is abs? You're a high-performing man. Your stress load is already high. 3 brutal sessions laid on top of that is plenty. Objection 3, don't I need to be in the gym daily? No, you need to be consistent weekly. Big difference. If you can dominate 3 sessions every single week for 1 year, you will destroy the guy who goes 6 days for 2 weeks and then disappears. This isn't about gym addiction, it's about long-term execution. Objection 4, all you need is a calorie deficit, isn't it? And this one pisses me off the most. All you need is a calorie deficit? That's just lazy coaching. Yes, fat loss does require you being in a deficit, but building muscle while performing at a high level requires structure, macros, protein targets, and carbs to fuel your training, and recovery to support your growth. If you just slash calories without strategy, you'll get smaller, not better. So let's simplify this. You don't need 6 days in the gym. You only need 3. 3 sessions that are intense, tracked, progressive. You need protein hit every single day and carbs to fuel your performance, macros structured around your lifestyle, and you need about 7 hours of sleep every night. Cardio built in, alcohol controlled, and stress respected. That's it. No hype, no shortcuts, no extremes, just structure. If you're a busy man building something meaningful, your training should support your life, not compete with it. You don't need to live in the gym to look powerful. You need to execute consistently. And the men who understand that are the ones that actually transform. If you're serious about building a high performance body without sacrificing your business, and you want the exact structure I use with my clients, the link to apply for coaching is in the description below. We'll map out your training, your macros, your recovery, built around your life, not someone else's. Stop guessing and start executing.